Number 3 is The X-Files.
Okay.
I kind of, for a long time, thought I discovered this show and told the rest of the world to watch it. I remember it getting very little hype, very little promotion, and it was just on. It was just, now we bring you the hit US drama, The X-Files.
I have to say, I remember the theme tune being quite prominent, more so
Absolutely.
It made the charts, I think, did it not?
It did, didn't it?
This was in an era where I remember you could get X-Files stationery. You could have an X-Files pencil case, an X-Files,
Yeah,
I think I can speak for
phenomenon, wasn't it?
Luke on this, which both of our first exposure to the X-Files came with that video, The Simpsons, the Springfield one.
Yeah.
Who are you guys, anyhow?
Agents Mulder and Scully, FBI.
FBI, huh? Excuse me. All right, they're on to us. Get them back to SeaWorld.
Hello, children. I bring you love.
It's a monster! Kill it! Kill it!
It's not a monster. It's Mr. Burns.
Oh, it's Mr. Burns. Kill it! Kill it!
Where were you in your life then in 90s?
Oh, I was
When did this start?
95?
95, yeah. I was definitely still living at home, but I was probably, where old was I in 95? I was about 20, so this was must-watch television. Again, it was very much a case of you can't miss this. I remember...
Actually, 93 programme originally.
Well, as I say, it's a bit earlier than that, so maybe I was still at sixth form. Maybe, yeah, because I might have been just about 18.
But when it aired in this country, I suppose.
I'm not sure. I don't think it aired that later. I think the first series showed in America, and then we got it.
Most of these things on your list, do you tend to watch solo?
The next one on the list is one that I've enjoyed watching with my uncle, and we've enjoyed talking about it and taking it apart. But this one definitely was one that I recommended to other people. This was the one, as I say, I think I found it and went, this is so good, you should watch it.
Your own personal discovery.
Yeah, and I felt like I was the one going around at sixth form or wherever and going, have you seen The X-Files? No, you really should watch it, it's great. Fancied the pants off Dana Scully as well. It's not fair to say that she was a fairly attractive young lady. She was like in FHM, wasn't she? She was the voted sexiest woman in the world. And the reason the show doesn't make the top 2 is because eventually everyone got a little bit tired of them not giving you any answers. And that was the whole thing. This was a suspense show. This was a
bit like Lost.
Yeah, in that sense. And because it never really gave you an answer, and even though it lasted 9 series, and has made 2 films and a comeback this year, even still, we've never really been given much answers. Particularly the first 5 series were very good.
I found here air dates. First time it aired in the UK was on the BBC. Was the 19th of September 1994. Sky had it on the 26th of January 1994.
And I think that would have been a time when very few people had Sky One.
As someone who doesn't like sci-fi, I think it immediately puts you out of its audience. Not that it hasn't got a massive audience anyway, but it wouldn't be something that I could go, you know what, I'll give the X-Files a try. Because the minute they find an alien in a beer bottle or whatever they find,
the minute that Mulder says, did you realise that aliens did this? Yeah, I mean, it almost became, as you say, the Simpsons episode was a very good parody of the X-Files itself.
And the other thing that struck me as a non-viewer, and I don't know where this perception of it comes from, was there any humour in the X-Files at all? Because whenever I turned it on, David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson seemed to be playing it so sort of straight-laced and dull. I never... they weren't very animated.
There was a lot of dark humour, so there was a lot of a lot of dark humour in the series. And there was a trio of characters called the Lone Gunmen who were conspiracy theorist nuts who provided a lot of comedy. They were quite funny and actually ended up... one of the things as well that I would say about the X-Files is it is a show in which a lot of people can point to and say, that's where that came from. And spin-offs out of the X-Files came out. There was, the Lone Gunman. There was also another that you could say that Millennium, a serial killer show, was a spin-off of the X-Files, also written by the creator Chris Carter. Space Above and Beyond was another show that was written by James Wong and Dean Morgan, who were two of the writers. And, of course, Breaking Bad, written by Vince Gilligan, who was a lead writer on the X-Files for a couple of years. And
also
actually,
The Simpsons.
Also, The Simpsons as well. Then there's a lot of people who were on the X-Files. Did you know that Jack Black was in the X-Files for an episode?
I think
I
did
read
know
something
that.
about Cher recently or something.
Yeah, well, there was
Like
a thing. There's a
cameo
thing
in-
going around at the moment about she had a cameo cut, but they were quite happy with it because it meant that the episode worked a bit better or something. But I don't know if that was the new series or the later series.
Did the most recent series spoil it for you, or did it just add more to the?
No, because I think
your
it worked as equal homage and new material. There were a couple of episodes that I looked. There was one with Rhys Darby playing a bloke who turns into an alien, and it was done for comedy, but it was terrible. So there are some times when it doesn't work, and I think that was the point. In every 24 episodes of the X-Files in a series, there were a few stinkers. So it dated back to the sort of Star Trek, the one where they get stuck on the holodeck episode, or the one where they go and nothing happens. So there was that element. I think that's the downside of an American series, length, I think.